is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are St. Louis.
This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. And Cardinals baseball is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. It's a warm night here in Pittsburgh. We're at PNC Park. It's game number 2, the St. Louis Cardinals and the Pittsburgh Pirates. Jim Hayes is here. That's the Mad Hungarian Al Raboski. I'm Dan McLaughlin. Great to have you with us. The Cardinals are hitting a ton of home runs, closing in on 200 for the year, 4 shy of that. They have homered in 24 straight games, and it is a big reason as to why they're winning many games.
They really are. It's been outstanding the way they're doing it. Jerko yesterday got things started with his 19th home run in the second half. But everybody's kind of contributing. There's been 12 different guys hitting home runs during that 24-game streak. And the Cardinals, when they hit 2 home runs in a game, they're 43-13.
The Cardinals look to take game number 2 here tonight, and it's Luke Weaver, the rookie, making his 5th Major League start against the veteran Ryan Vogelsong. Cards and Pirates, game 2, coming up next. At PNC Park, and a closer look at Jed Jerko, who is in the lineup tonight. It's our Kubota Power Stats, and he's supplying plenty of power for the Cardinals. Yesterday's team-leading 26th home run of the year, number 70 of his career. Quite a first year in St. Louis for Jed Jerko. St. Louis Cardinals baseball is brought to you by Budweiser. Not backing down since 1876. This Bud's for you. By Chevrolet. Visit your local Mid-America Chevy dealer for great prices on the all-new 2016 Malibu. And by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. Beautiful night here in Pittsburgh, PNC Park, 82 degrees, along with Al Raboski and Jim Hayes. My name is Dan McLaughlin. It is game 2 of this 3-game series, the Pirates and the Cardinals. Ryan Vogelsong is trying to snap a season-high 7-game losing skid for the Buccos. Their first 7-game skid since August of 2013. Colton Wong looks at a strike, and we are underway.
Also lost 9 of their last 10 home games, so a real tough stretch for the Pirates. Vogelsong, his second stint with the Pirates. His first stint was one of the worst trades I can remember in their history.
A look at the St. Louis lineup: Colton Wong, Jed Jerko, and Brandon Moss, followed by Adams, Molina, Grichuk, Peralta, Hazelbaker, and the pitcher Luke Weaver. After that deal, though, he really reinvented himself. Pitched 3 years in Japan, came back to the States, pitched with the San Francisco Giants, became an all-star, won a couple of World Series rings, and now back where it all started, here with the Pittsburgh Pirates.
And in his 19th professional career, or year, finally he's got his full 10 years of service.
Lined out to left, and that is past Polanco. Wong on his way to second base, racing to third. Relay is not in time. Diving in head first. It's a triple, leading this game off for Colton Wong.
How about that? A 5-game hitting streak for Colton Wong, and he has played very well on this road trip, not only offensively but defensively too. 7 for 15 on the road trip. He's got that speed. Polanco really didn't look comfortable. We always see him most of the time in right field, but out there in left field he looked a little out of sorts. But Wong challenges and comes up with that triple. What a way to start a game.
And it brings in Jed Jerko. Team leading 26th home run in the ball game yesterday. The 70th of his career. 4 of his 6 hits on the trip have been homers. And Jerko lines it out to left, sinking, and it is a catch. And Wong is still at third base.
You got to hit a ball like that, you've got to go back and tag up. If he misses it, you're going to score. But he was off the bag, he was forward, and a nice play right there. Went off the shoe tops. So hopefully Brandon Moss, who's 0 for 18 on the road trip, can pick him up.
One of the biggest plays on this trip was an outfield assist on Sunday by Brandon Moss, and as you mentioned, hitless on this road trip.
Boy, he made up
yesterday.
Made up for it with that play too, leading a double play, throwing the runner out at the plate.
So 1 out and a runner at third. Pulled foul.
So Cole Wong takes his lead and really was caught in between. By the time he goes back, it's too late then. Really a tough play on the sinking line drive.
Here's an 0-1. But still, with a ball in the air, if it gets down, he probably scores. Polanco did not get up all that quickly, and the ball gets by him. Obviously, he could walk home. Here's a 1-1. The trade that you were talking about earlier involved these players: Armando Rios, Jason Schmidt, and John Vanderwall.
Well, Rios came over to the Pirates with Vanderwall. I think in the first or second game he got tore up his knee, a little second baseman, middle infielder. And then Vanderwall, one of the best pinch hitters, and Jason Schmidt really was one of the top starting pitchers in the league right at that time.
Here's a 2-1. Taken low and outside. Matt Adams, who homered here yesterday, is at the on-deck circle. So with Carpenter not in the lineup, it's Wong the leadoff man, and Carpenter pretty good numbers against Vogelsong, 8 for 20. But they wanted to give him a little rest after the long afternoon yesterday. Struck out 3 times. 3-1 pitch, taken high, and it's a 1-out walk. Hyundai pitch arsenal on Ryan Vogelsong. Fastball, the cutter, curve, and change. Back on May 23rd, he was hit in the left eye. The line drive and a comebacker off the bat of a pitcher, Jordan Lyles. Suffered a facial fracture. He had surgery. And since he's come back off the DL in that scary situation, he's been very good, in particular here at PNC Park.
Had good numbers at the park here, and he's 38 years of age now. So a lot of experience, a lot of sinkers.
1 out, runners at the corners. Anytime you see these types of plays, boys, it's scary. So hit in the left eye and facial fracture. And he was actually pretty upset and very honest in a recent interview with the folks here in Pittsburgh. He was upset that Lyles never called him, texted him, reached out to him just to say, hey, how you doing? Are you okay? Want to make sure you're all right. And Vogelsong said he did not appreciate the fact that Lyles did not reach out to him. Oh, 2 the count on the Pennsylvania native Matt Adams. First ever home run in this ballpark was yesterday. 2-run shot into right center. Here's the 0-2. Softly hit and a play at the plate. Jaso, though, waits, throws to third, safe. Wong is in there safely, and the bases remain loaded for the Cardinals. Also might have been able to take a chance and get a double play on that.
Yeah, I think that would have been Jaso's best bet. But remember, he's a catcher and outfielder playing out of position at first. So, I mean, it's what do? You got to think, anticipate was the ball's hit at you. You got Matt Adams running down the first base line, so not that swift. But he saw Colton Wong trapped here. And then by the time they get there, Colton gets himself back. And so the Cardinals still have the opportunity.
A lot of mistakes in the game yesterday by Pittsburgh. Base running. They committed 2 errors. There were 3 misplays in the game.
Just a lot of things, and you're doing it in front of your home fans. And after 3 straight appearances in postseason, they're getting pretty frustrated.
So the base is loaded for Molina. Sends a high fly ball into right field. It is a grand slam. Yadier Molina. The Cardinals have now hit a home run in 25 consecutive games, and Yadi does it with an exclamation point. Grand slam.
His 3rd home run on the trip, and now a 7-game hitting streak, and holy smokes, the Cardinals, what a surprise. Vogelsong has only given up 7 home runs on the year prior to this swing. And Yadi, we know he's so good going the opposite way. And this had plenty to spare up on the Roberto Clemente wall. Jim Hayes asked Yadier Molina before the game what he felt about the great Puerto Rican outfielder Roberto Clemente. Kind of inspired him to hit that grand slam.
So 4 career grand slams. His last was in 2012, and he did that off of Roy Halladay.
His very first was in Cincinnati opening day a few years back.
The Cardinals now at 25 consecutive games with a home run. And that ties the Yankees of the 1941 team, the 94 Tigers, the 98 Braves, And this year's Padres, they are 2 back of the all-time record set by the Rangers in 2002. They had 27 consecutive games with a home run. What a start here for St. Louis.
And during those 25, 48 total home runs have been hit. Those 25 straight games with a home run. Vogelsong only gives up a home run about once every 8 innings.
He's got to be thinking, what is going on with my team right now?
Well, he keeps on trying to be as positive as one of the most positive managers you ever find, but they're trying to find some solution.
You think about how this inning has unfolded here for the Cardinals, and the Pirates really should be kicking themselves. Marte probably makes that play in left field initially off the bat of Colton Wong. Jaso had the chance not only to get Wong caught up between third and home plate, but even the potential of a double play to be out of the inning. There's a strikeout of Randall Grichuk.
No doubt about it, Danny. When you're playing poorly, you got a 7-game losing streak, all at home, and lost 9 of their last 10 at home. You know, it just seems like it's submarines on you. And all of a sudden, you know, the Pirate players are saying all we need to do is just win 1 game and we'll take off from there. But Cardinals, this is a very important game for both clubs.
Here's Peralta, who is 0 for his last 9, 2 for 16 on the trip. He's at third base tonight with Carpenter on the bench.
Really looked like he needed a day off, and of course a couple days off for Johnny didn't hurt either.
A 4-0 first inning lead for the Cardinals. In on the hands of Peralta. The Cardinals start play tonight. Half game back of San Francisco for the top wild card spot. And the Mets are 1 game back of the Cardinals.
Control their own destiny. They keep on winning. Nobody can catch them. And of all the teams that are chasing the wild card in the National League, the Cardinals are the only team with a record over 500 since the All-Star break.
The 2-2. Peralta, base hit into left center, beats the shift. Third hit for the Cardinals here in this first inning. So San Francisco playing at Colorado tonight, up by a half game over St. Louis. Cardinals game in front of the Mets. Pittsburgh 4.5 out after yesterday's loss, and then Miami and Colorado. Giancarlo Stanton, by the way, has been activated for the Marlins, and he is available to pinch hit but not play in the field, and he'll be used as a pinch hitter at least initially by Don Mattingly.
Boy, they have really sunk without him. And, you know, that's the one thing about since Mike Matheny has been here, they've ruled September. 5 straight postseason appearances for the Cardinals. They have an 86-52 record in the month of September, the best winning percentage in the month and the best in the National League.
Here's a 1-0 pitch to Hazelbaker. Jeremy, a couple of plate appearances yesterday. Walked, sacrificed, and then was taken out of the game.
But those 2 plate appearances yesterday probably will help him today and just get a feel a little better about his feel in the batter's box.
Now time is called. Home plate umpire is Tim Timmons. Chris Conroy at first, Mike Everett, the crew chief, at second base, and Jordan Baker down at third. Hazelbaker with a fly ball out to center. Pretty well hit, but room for McCutcheon. 7th home run for Yadier Molina here in 2016. His 4th grand slam. It started with a triple by Wong. By staying alive at third, it sets up that moment for Yadier Molina. Grand slam for Yadier Molina. 4-0 Cardinals as we move to the bottom of the first here at PNC Park. Luke Weaver, his 5th career major league start tonight. First ever against the Pirates. Coming off a start against the Brewers in which he went 6 innings. Gave up 4 hits, an eventual 3-1 loss. And in that game, he struck out 10. As a matter of fact, he has struck out 17 combined batters in his last 2 starts against Milwaukee and Oakland.
Every start has been a learning experience, and even though he lost that last game, I think he learned a very valuable lesson. Don't ease up on a pitcher with 2 outs, and that's what started his downfall. A walk to the pitcher, and a base hit to PR, and then Neuenhuis, who struck out the first time on a changeup, got a hanging changeup, and hit a home run. Lefties have hit 355 against him. Righties just 200. Changeup has been so good for him.
Harrison, Jaso, and McCutchen in the lineup for the Pirates. Then Polanco, Gunn, Joyce, Mercer, Stewart, and Vogelsaw. Harrison riding a 5-game hit streak into play tonight. 9 hits in his last 22 plate appearances. Clint Hurdle trying to jumpstart this offense here in the last month or so has moved him to the top spot in the lineup. And Jaso has been batting 2nd, and he's on deck.
But Harrison really has been doing a job, hitting over 300 in that spot. Jaso even lost his playing time, but he's making 3 starts in a row, our on deck hitter.
Here's a 1-1. The 7-game losing skid, the Pirates have been outscored 47-22 and shut out in 3 of those 7 games. Harrison pops it foul and out of play. They have not lost 8 straight since August of 2011.
Watch Weaver. The thing that I like about him is he really controls the bottom of the strike zone. He's given up a home run in every start. And that's kind of hurt him a little bit. But he's down, and you would think he'd be getting a lot more ground balls than he really has.
Hyundai pitch arsenal on Luke Weaver. The fastball, changeup, curve, and cutter. Threw the changeup 25 times in his last start, and as Al mentioned, very effective pitch for him. And the 2-2. Cardinals did make it official, if you missed the news last night, that Mike Leake will start tomorrow, and Alex Reyes is now available out of the pen for St. Louis. 3-2 pitch. Tapped foul.
There's one thing right there. You can see a 3-2 changeup. When young pitchers can throw the changeup when they're behind in the count, that's something that major league hitters don't expect. It's going to be a fastball. And it seems like Luke Weaver has the confidence to throw that at any count. Fastball away.
And the 3-2. Struck him out.
See, there's a great example of what I'm talking about, the way he throws at the bottom of the strike zone. And a 3-2 pitch. You can see all the pitches in the sequence right there. They're all down, and after throwing the changeup 3-2, Harrison was kind of looking for something off speed, and then he throws the express.
John Jaso has stayed in this lineup because he's 7 for his last 15. Looks at a strike. We turn to Al's Toyota, key to the game.
Well, control the lefties, because as I've said, left-handed batters have hit 355 off of Weaver. Righties only 200, so control these guys.
Good change up there.
Absolutely. And once again, look where the location, down and away. So, you know, you're not only fooling them with the off speed, but the location is even perfect.
Shift is on for John Jaso. Little tapper hit out in front of the mound. Weaver bare hands and throws a strike to Adams.
Great job, Hurdle, in putting it down.
So with that, 2 up and 2 down, and it brings in Andrew McCutchen. McCutchen with his 20th home run of the season yesterday. his second home run in the past 3 games. He's now had 6 consecutive years with 20 or more homers.
5th on the all-time home run list for the Pirates, 171.
And the first pitch is taken for a ball. Not a cheapie either. Center field, this ball clock. That's a mighty poke. Clint Hurdle after the game congratulating Andrew McCutchen on that home run. 20 home runs for 6 consecutive years.
Having a down season here by any other standards would be a pretty good one.
Here's a 2-0. Taken low. Luke Weaver, 27th overall pick out of Florida State back in 2014, and a rapid rise to the Cardinals minor league system this year. There's a strike. 3 balls and 1 strike on McCutchen.
And that's quite a statement, Dan. You're seeing these kids that come up, and it's one thing to come out and work out of the bullpen, but to come up and start at this level and succeed, that's tough to do.
3-2. Good fastball. You look at Weaver's size, not a big guy, obviously, about 170 pounds. But then you look at the velocity, 92, 94 with the fastball, change up right around 83 to 85.
Kind of has that frame where it's nice and easy, real loose wrist.
3-2, and he struck him out from 3-0 to come back to get him. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Luke Weaver. A grand slam by Molina, the difference thus far. Move to the top of the second, and let's check in with Jim Hayes.
Dan, Stephen Piscotty got hit by a pitch on the left wrist last night and was removed from the game for precautionary reasons. X-rays were negative. Mike Matheny told me Stephen was lobbying before they left the ballpark last night to be in there today. He is not. Piscotty told me the wrist is a little sore today, but he's got some protective padding to put over it, and he's ready to play. He told me he was surprised he didn't get out of the way of the pitch. He said he couldn't see it. Dan, he said those 4 o'clock starts with the sun and the shadows, it's hard to see anything at times, and I don't think Piscotty was alone thinking that.
Yeah, he mentioned that in the clubhouse today with a number of media members, obviously with you, Jim, and you think about the guys that have been hit by pitches this year, those inside pitches to right-handers like that, Aledmys Diaz, Holiday, and then Piscotty. So he didn't pick up the baseball. Tough to pick it up in those shadows. And Diaz has been out since the 31st of July. Holiday August 11th, and now Piscotty. But it looks like Steven is going to be all right.
You know, Dan, you know, I'm sure there's a lot of fans when we talk about those shadows, they were saying, oh, that's a bunch of bull. you're just making excuses. But that just tells you right there that, we are making valid points, that it is tough to pick up the ball when it's going from light to shade. We saw Marte, the left fielder for the Pirates, won a Gold Glove last year, lost the ball in the sun.
Little jam shot hit up the third base line. Gunn can't make the play, and Weaver gets down the line pretty well.
He's now 4 for 8 as a hitter for Luke Weaver. Infield single right there, and if you're a pitcher, why can't you run hard 4 times down the base path? Most times it's probably going to be 2 or 3, but here a swinging bunt, take off, and you might get good things happen for you.
So leadoff base hit brings in Colton Wong. Wong now on this trip. This will be start number 5. 7 hits, 2 home runs, a triple, and 3 just dazzling defensive plays, and that included yesterday with his back to the infield. And as you mentioned, it was a ball that had to be caught by somebody, and it was Colton Wong, the most difficult effort for anybody, and he came up with it.
Absolutely. And then you've seen him in the middle of some double plays that he just dazzled with his quick hands.
If you missed it, here it is. Looks to be a routine pop-up. Wong hustling all the way. Richard coming on, and he makes that catch. The concentration, and talking with Colton today about not only making sure you keep your eye on the ball, but also realizing you might get trucked by the center fielder. It's a dangerous play.
How many times we see a guy pull up at that last second? But you're taught until you're called off to keep on going out to the outfield and try and make that play. But obviously, that ball was hit far enough into the outfield, it has to be caught, and Colton Wong saved Grichuk there.
Very short lead at first by Weaver. And a strikeout of Wong. Second strikeout for Ryan Vogelsong, Missouri Lottery Fox Tracks.
The pitch right down there. The ball started out outside, kind of curved back to the strike zone.
Here's Jerko lined out to left, a sliding catch by Polanco. Take a hit away. 19 home runs since the All-Star break for Jed Jerko. Outfield is deep. They are straight away. Jed from Morgantown, West Virginia. He was telling us a lot of family and friends have made the trek here to Pittsburgh. Not too far away, about a 2-hour drive or so.
I think a lot of his friends were a little more anxious to come here, the way he's swinging the bat, too, to remind him of their great friendship.
Could be 2 out at second. The turn, it's a double play. Gunn, Harrison, Jaso. 5-4-3 double play. Cardinals.com/McDonald's to purchase $9 tickets to see the Cubs and the Cardinals next week. That's $9 tickets for the best rivalry in sports at Cardinals.com/McDonald's. Still good seats available as Milwaukee will be in town for the first of 4 beginning on Thursday. Great promotions coming up over the weekend. The hoodie. We also have photo day, Margaritaville night. Always fun at the ballpark, and make sure you get those tickets. Pennant races in full swing.
That's $9 tickets for Cup Series. Unbelievable. Thank you, McDonald's.
Gregory Polanco will lead it off, followed by Jung-Ho Kang and Matt Joyce. I want to wish a special Cardinal fan a happy birthday. That's Archie Allen from Hannibal, Missouri. He turns 100 today. Never misses a telecast, a World War II veteran. Thank you for your service, and happy 100th birthday to Archie Allen.
Outstanding, Archie. Way to go. They had a veteran here that was included. 91 years of age. Can't thank them enough. And the most recent retired military and current military personnel, men and women around the world, to thank them too. I got a question for you. You know, McCutcheon's getting a little older, his knees not quite. They really have, like, when you think of Marte, Polanco, and McCutcheon, 3 center fielders. Who would you put in center if you moved McCutcheon? Marte, I would too, but and put Polanco in left, where, you know, I think you know, just the difference, the ball coming off the bat, that kind of fooled him on the drive by Wong to lead off the game. And Marte has 17 assists. That's second to, I think it was in 77, Parker had like 26.
Wow. 26.
26.
You know, and many times a guy they start to pile up assists because of a reputation that they don't want, which is they don't have a very good arm.
Yeah, and
Dave Parker had a cannon.
Yes, he had a cannon, and he liked to show it. That's what you got to do. Remember, Mark Whitten had a cannon, and, you know, don't run on Mark Whitten.
Good change up again.
But late in his career, you know, he started thinking, well, nobody's going to run on me, so he's catching balls flat-footed. People started running, and then he would rush his throw, and it was be offline. But there again, boy, perfect location. Down the way, guys out in front, there's no way he could touch it.
I would assume, we don't see them every day, but for Clint Hurdle and probably for the front office, that's a tough conversation to have potentially this offseason. Is to say, look, you know, to Andrew McCutcheon, we love the fact that you play every day, you play hurt, we appreciate it, but we think we can be a better team with Marte or Polanco in center. And a lot of it is due out of respect to the player.
Yeah, and I think Clint has such a good rapport with his players, and he can have that conversation, especially with a guy that's locked up for a few more years as your highest paid player. Now, it used to be years ago that a manager would tell you to do something, you just said, you went and did it. You know, there was no question. But today, you kind of have to explain to people why you're doing something, and in this world with communication, you can get anything accomplished.
2-2 the count on Polanco. 0 for his last 16. And a fly ball into right. Now 0 for his last 17. Around the Horn is presented by Dobbs. Hazelbaker in left. Grichuk in center. Moss is in right. Peralta, Jerko, Wong, and Adams on the infield, and Molina is behind the plate. First game for Kang yesterday since August 19th. Used as a pinch hitter and struck out.
Clint Hurdle remembers he got a late start to the season, recovering from that broken leg and torn up knee. You know, serious injury late last season, being taken out on a slide. And his first game back against the Cardinals, it was against the Cardinals, he hit 2 home runs. So trying to generate any kind of offense, and Freezer's in a little bit of a slump.
Here's a 1-1 into center, and there's Randall Grichuk. So 2 lineouts, 2 outs. Well, tomorrow it'll be Roberto Clemente Day around Major League Baseball. Certainly very special here in Pittsburgh. And the representative for the St. Louis Cardinals will be honored before the game. Adam Wainwright, for all his terrific work away from the field. This foundation and what he's done for clean drinking water. Also has raised a ton of money for less fortunate in St. Louis, for meals. Many families.
Jared Hughes is the Pirates representative, one from everybody, and then they'll honor, Major League Baseball Clemente Award winner, and I would think Adams starting to make a lot of impact in that. What he's done now and getting so many different ball clubs involved in it, trying to really make a big impact.
0-2 the count on Matt Joyce. Just his 40th start of the year. He has been their top pinch hitter this season.
And he's got 4 home runs like Hazelbaker as a pinch hitter this year. But he has 15 pinch hit RBIs.
One-two by Weaver. Hit the other way and out of play.
His 15 pinch hit RBIs is one shy of the Pirates record held by one of my buddies, Willie Stargell, at 16 back in 1982. Boy, Willie left us way too early. What a super guy he was. Pops. And
main entrance here at PNC Park, and we always tell our fans, if you get a chance, come to Pittsburgh, take in the ballpark. One of the better ones in Major League Baseball, but when you walk through the main gates, huge statue of Willie Stargell. There's a third strikeout.
Believe it or not, that was life size.
I'd believe it. He was a big dude. Weaver with 3 strikeouts, 2 in the first inning, and Joyce to end the bottom of the second. Cardinals on top of Molina, grand slam, the difference. Polanco, McCutchen, and Joyce in the outfield tonight for Clint Hurdle's club. Young, Mercer on the left side of the infield, Harrison and Jaso on the right side, and Chris Stewart is behind the plate. Here's Brandon Moss. First pitch is fouled. Francisco Cervelli is not in the lineup, and the Pirates are very concerned when they may get him back. He hurt himself on a swing. Remember, he had surgery after an odd swing against the Cardinals in the middle of the season, so Stewart gets the call tonight.
Now, that was surgery on the hook of the hymate, but here yesterday, Cervelli on this swing, it's his thumb. So we'll see how long. He left saying thumb discomfort.
Makes it all the more amazing what Molina has done in terms of durability. This is his 9th year of at least 1,000 innings behind the plate. And what a second half he has had.
You're talking about offensively.
And you think about, you know, just their hands get beat up.
Oh,
I mean, it's ridiculous.
I mean, I can't even really comprehend how bad those hands must be at the end of the year, catching guys throwing triple digits. And, you know, if you ever catch the ball wrong, even with those catcher's glove, it's still, you know, it can beat you up.
A lot of jammed thumbs along the way.
Oh, no doubt. Whether it's in the glove or, you know, like foul tips that catch a piece of you, concussions that, you know, Mike Matheny suffered. Mike probably could have played several more years if he didn't fall prey to that. Of course, he spent, my understanding, a lot of time with here in Pittsburgh, or at least with the doctors here. And when did the same doctors or the people with the NFL with the concussion, the movie, you know,
CTE.
Yeah,
that was started here in terms of the research done by the doctor. 2-2. Moss, a high fly ball, shallow center. McCutcheon puts it away for out number 1.
Just thought of one more thing about, you know, Mike Matheny and concussions. You know, he's become a very passionate chess player. And we have the Chess Hall of Fame. Mike Sinfield, our great Cardinal fan, you know, was so instrumental in that. But the doctors recommended to Mike Matheny to start playing chess as a way to try to get the cobwebs from out of his brain from the concussions, and using that as a way of using the brain again.
It's sad to see what happens with former hockey players, or what Mike Matheny went through, certainly football players, in terms of being light sensitive. So they are at times literally stuck in a room for days, if not weeks on end, not able to deal with the light, even just simply turning on a light in a room, just functioning normally. Here's a 2-0. To make a case, the key play in this game was a ground ball that was hit by Adams in the first, with runners at first and third. Jaso, instead of going to second base potentially to get that double play, thought he had Wong, the runner at third, hung up between third and home, and everybody was safe. Adams, will it get into the river? Yes! Wow! A long blast off the bat of Big City. Number 14 for Adams. Man, oh man, his second home run in as many games, and it's 5-0 Cardinals.
We've seen Matt come back here to Pittsburgh, closest place to his home, and not do really well offensively, but coming off the disabled list, home run yesterday, and here's just a mammoth blast and into the water, I think, right?
Oh yeah, off the boat.
Splash.
And a splash.
Splash City.
Wow, what a home run.
Cardinals, remember this too, Dan, they're 43 and 13. There you see the ball, 43 and 13 when they hit 2 home runs in a game. Still got a lot of game left, but a good start for the Redbirds. And a good start for Weaver.
There's a fly ball into right off the bat of Molina. So number 14 comes on a 2-1 pitch. The Cardinals are 2 home runs away from 200. And we still have over 20 games left in the season. This is already the 5th best in terms of home runs, total home runs by a team in franchise history. The record 235. Cardinals on pace for 233. That's ripped out to left field and a base hit for Randall Grichuk. So Vogelsong is allowed a grand slam, and now this mammoth blast off the bat of Adams.
Well, he put his head down and then didn't really want to look to see how far it went, but you kind of have to be tempted to do it. Remember, he had only come in allowing 7 home runs in his 20th game, his 10th start. He was allowing a home run about once every 8 innings. And we've already got him for 2. And the Cardinals have already passed the 2003 team with 196 home runs. Now they're 1 away from the 2001 team that had 199.
You know, I look at, though, like 96 to 2003, 5.
Wonder why.
You know, you say, okay, I get it. Home runs were up for a big reason. And so the Cardinals 198. That is updated. Their team leader is Jerko. The 2000 team had a 235 total home runs with Jim Edmonds in his first season in, with the Cardinals in St. Louis with 42 that year. That's the BJC Healthcare difference maker. What a play here by Gunn. And a force at second as he robs Johnny Peralta. The Cardinals pick up home run number 14 from Matt Adams. A grand slam by Yachty. And a mammoth towering blast off the bat of Adams. 5-0 St. Louis. .107 miles per hour off the bat of Adams. And in limited time this year, his 14th home run, he's driven in 47. And there's some guys now that are trying to make a case to play more. Adams, Colt Wong.
Hey, just think when you get Diaz and Holiday back. Holiday will be re-evaluated tomorrow. Take a scan and see if he can start resuming baseball activities. Diaz could. Well, he started a rehab. Maybe this is the off day and then starts tomorrow.
Diaz plays tomorrow in Springfield. And we may see him back with the club this weekend in St. Louis.
So, I mean, that's just going to be an emotional shot in the arm to this guys. And think about the 06 team. Remember, they were just so depleted, and then right at the end of the season and postseason, they got healthy. And you never know once you get there. Mercer went to Oklahoma State, and he also led their team in saves.
Here's a 1-1. The shortstop for the Pirates, riding a 6-game hitting streak. Two-one pitch by Weaver. Get off the end of the bat. Highest on base percentage leading off an inning. Pirates at .335. Behind Chicago, then the Cardinals and Brewers, and you know, you get that leadoff man on and all of a sudden the pressure is on.
All the teams in the Central Division.
Slowly hit. Peralta charging and no play. So the first hit against Weaver, an infield hit. Chris Stewart hitting .194. 1 home run, and he has driven in 7. First pitch, a strike. Al talked about this earlier. The ground ball percentage against Weaver in his 4 previous starts was only 32%. So a lot of fly balls. He's given up a fair share of home runs. League average is 45%. But what has stood out on this road trip, the fact that the Cardinals are built on being a ground ball staff, and it's really paid off on this trip with a ton of double plays turned.
Absolutely. And I just think with his stuff and the way he keeps the ball down, that those ground balls will come in time.
Line drive and a base hit into left. First 2 have reached.
His fly ball percentage is about normal, but he has a high line drive percentage.
I'm going to throw something kind of crazy at you.
I doubt it.
Is it far-fetched just to think about it? I'm not saying you do it, but just to think about it. If you're Clint Hurdle, you're down by 5. You cannot fall 5.5 back of the Cardinals with just over 20 to play.
I thought you'd go to the bullpen.
Go to the bullpen right here and pinch hit.
I thought they would, especially now that they got 2 men on. But now they could, you know, drop down the sack bunt and you don't waste a pitcher. But I think it's very reasonable, Danny, with you know, with expanded rosters.
Sure.
And you got 9 relievers down there. They may have added a couple more today.
Right now they've got 10 on their bench.
Yeah.
And in terms of their bullpen, they've got 11.
Yeah, they added 2 more. They added 1 more, or they added a couple position players and 2 more relievers. So why not?
I'll tell you what, it takes some guts to be Ryan Vogelsong. I know that you sit there and you say, okay, bunting, it's part of the job. He's done it countless times in batting practice and in games, but to get back in there after you had been hit in the face like that takes some guts.
I've seen guys in the minor leagues. Tommy Moore was an outfielder with the Mets. Pretty good prospect in A-ball, got hit and got gun shy, but then they converted him to a pitcher, and he did get to the big leagues as a pitcher, but he just could not, you know, get over the fear of batting. And you know, one thing I didn't realize, Vogelsong is one of the first investors in the Marucci Bat Company.
Some boos.
Well, I mean,
the fans here in Pittsburgh, we saw it very loud yesterday.
And you know, he's got to be thankful that his manager let him go ahead when he's down 5-0 to stay in this ball game. But then you don't do your job. You know, those boos are going to come. And he should be booing himself loudly.
So runners at first and second. And it brings in Harrison. Saw 8 pitches in his first at bat and swings through strike 1.
Struck out looking on a 3-2 pitch.
Here's the 0-1. Fly ball lifted down the right field line and out of play. Yesterday they did that, remember, as the Cardinals jumped out to a lead and Kuhl only gave them 2 innings. And I'm sure part of that was they were concerned with some type of medical issue, but didn't really address it after the game. Kuhl said he was fine.
Yeah, but Clint kind of said that he looked like a guy with fatigue and had really nothing, didn't have much to offer. So, but I mean,
0-2, lifted out to left. Hazelbaker makes the catch. Runners back to first and second. Halfway to St. Patty's is coming up, presented by Llewellyn's Pub, and you'll receive that green Cardinals jersey. That's September 27th, final regular season homestand of the year. And fans that purchase that special theme ticket take home that jersey. Tickets are at cardinals.com/theme.
Sometimes this game can be kind of cruel, but Vogelsong's 39 years of age. Do you think he's really part of their plans of the future?
Probably not.
So why not look at some of the future that's out there in that bullpen? Somebody might surprise you.
Jaso grounded back to Weaver. Inning started with an infield hit by Mercer. Stewart a base hit to left. Vogelsong bunt attempt struck out. Harrison lines out to left, and now Jaso, no balls and a strike. These two teams have been very evenly matched since the start of 2012, and that's when the Pirates got much better. They played 86 times. 43 and 43, the records. Pulled, fair, just past Adams, off the sidewall. A run will score, and the Pirates get on the board.
Conway, our first base umpire, looked like he was standing in foul territory, and ball apparently in front of him. Just a ripped down in the corner. And I guess we have no problem with it being fair.
Sometimes those can be tricky plays for the right fielder as to whether or not that goes in the corner. Karem's off the sidewall, and he played it perfectly, allowing only 1 run to score to keep Jaso at first base. Here's McCutchen. First at bat, McCutchen was ahead 3 balls and no strikes, and Weaver came back to strike him out.
McCutchen's numbers have been down a little bit this year, but he's swinging the bat very well right now.
Time is called. 1 ball, no strikes. One and one.
McCutchen's hit in 12 of his last 13 games, 327 during that time, and had a pretty good rip at this one. And that ball goes right back over the shoulder of a catcher. You better change speeds.
Weaver has not really fooled many. Now he has struck out 4. 1 was on the bunt attempt, but the outs have been loud.
Yeah, and some hard hit outs, as you said, and 3 hits this inning. Second time there's, well, the bottom of the order, you know, and this is where he got in trouble his last start. The bottom of the order in the 3rd inning.
Inside.
Remember, he had retired 8 in a row and then walked the pitcher, and a double, and then a 3-run home run.
Quicken Loans, Rocket Arms. Seung-Hwan Oh, those strikeouts per 9, and look at that on that list, albeit early in his major league career, Luke Weaver. Alex Reyes, by the way, third.
Good pitch in on the hands there. Now Weaver has 30 strikeouts in 23 2/3 innings.
Got him on a changeup on a 3-2 his first time up. And he struck him out. Got him with the fastball this time. 5 strikeouts for Luke Weaver. McCutchen 0 for 2. And the Cardinals out of a 3rd inning jam. The Krispy Kreme doesn't deal. When Cardinals get 9 hits tonight, you're invited into Krispy Kreme tomorrow. Receive a dozen of their original glazed donuts for only $3.99. Stop by one of the 4 St. Louis area Krispy Kreme locations or the locations in Bloomington or Springfield, Illinois for this sensational deal. Cardinals will wrap up the long road trip tomorrow, and then it's back home. First of 4 against Milwaukee on Thursday night. You know they'd love to see some big crowds. Pennant race. Every game means so much here in September.
I think the fans have done their part all season long, showing up 40,000 strong every day for several years. But I think you come out now, you're going to see the Cardinal team that you've been expecting to see at home.
Played so well on the road. Can they make it happen at home?
42-27 on the road. 7 games under 500 at home. Just hard to believe. I don't think they've won less than 50 games at home prior to this season, you know, since Mike has taken over.
Hazel Baker with a fly ball into center. McCutchen makes the catch, and that's the first out. Cardinals have a grand slam back in the first off the bat of Yadier Molina. 7th home run of the year. 4th career grand slam. Extended his hitting streak to 7. And a solo home run into the Allegheny off the bat of Matt Adams. 5-1 our score, and here's Luke Weaver as an infield hit. As Al mentioned earlier, he's now 4 for 8 to start his big league career.
And the Pirates have surrendered.
Diving stop by Mercer. Takes a hit away.
put the ball in play. And Mercer made an outstanding play in yesterday's ball game, and here he makes another one. Luke Weaver puts the ball in play, doesn't he?
Sure does.
Looks like he's having a little fun hitting, but I was going to say the Pirate pitching staff, the last 2+ games, have allowed 27 runs. 10-0 on Sunday, 12-6 yesterday, and already here 5 in a 1-run game.
Wong with a ground ball sharply hit to Josh Harrison. We're midway through 4, and the Cardinals have a 5-1 lead. There's a look at Carson Kelly, still riding high after making his major league debut yesterday. With more on that, let's check in with Jim. Jimmy.
Dan, I asked Carson Kelly if his cell phone blew up after he doubled in his first big league at bat last night. He told me it's still blowing up. He said over 200 text messages, countless congratulatory tweets, Instagram, phone calls. He said people were really supportive. He said he didn't plan on looking at the video, but since his brother posted it on social media, he felt obligated to look. I asked him for his analysis of the double. He told me his words, I was impressed. And then he told me as great as the double was, he said the best moment might have been after the game. He said he was coming off the field. He made eye contact with his parents and got to give them a little wave. Nice.
That's great. It's a year and a day after finishing at high A. Now think about how far he's come in such a short amount of time. But high A ball, Luke Weaver was there this time last year. Alex Reyes, and now here they are in a pennant race.
You know, Carson Kelly's really filled out too. You know, he was a high school draft pick, and I was surprised looking at him today down there how big he's got. And he told me, you know, I said, well, what were you thinking about? He said, well, I was thinking about going to third. You know, everybody said, no, stay at second. But he said that Grichuk told him, he said, hey, we're both going to get back-to-back doubles.
Is that right?
And they did. But think about that draft. I was talking with Mabry and also Derek May, because remember, prior to this year, Derek May was the minor league roving inning instructor. And he said that Carson, we had a need for a catcher. So Carson was drafted as a third baseman. So was Patrick Wilson. So was Piscotty. He said, wisdom. We moved Piscotty to right field. We moved Carson Kelly to the catcher. It was all panned out pretty well.
I'd say so. Off the bat of Polanco into shallow center for the out. So Polanco, his struggles continue. He's now over his last 18.
Maybe the best over last 18 player in the National League, though.
Some hard hit balls already in this series. Carson Kelly, by the way, only 22. I don't know if he knew this, Al, but he keeps a journal after every game. And it's about how pitchers go after him, how he caught the pitcher that he's catching that day, that night, and long journal entry into that journal yesterday.
I said it might be a little longer talking about the hit and his experience, and apparently he's been doing this ever since he got on pro ball.
Pretty smart.
Yeah, and having that running diary of, because guys you face in the minor leagues, maybe 4 or 5 years later you face them in the big leagues, and just have a little bit on your memory to how they got you out or how you hit them, how they approached you, and then all the pitchers that you caught.
Cardinals today added Sam Tuivailala to the bullpen. Mike Myers, who had that ill-fated start on Sunday Night Baseball, is back. You know he wants to get back out there. That was against the Dodgers, and he was roughed up. Gunn out to deep left field. And it's a solo home run. Long one off the bat of Gunn to make it 5-2.
That's a pop, and he's hit against the Cardinals very, very well in his first 2 years in the United States. Big power hitter in Korea prior to coming here. Kind of a hanging breaking ball, and no doubt about it. So 5th start for Weaver, 5 home runs.
And now a 5-2 lead here in inning number 4, bottom half. Here's Matt Joyce, struck out on a changeup first time up. Here's that breaking ball.
Yep, you got to throw it. Throw enough of them, you're going to hang some of them, but still got to keep on working with it. Another pitch, because they're worried about the fastball and changeup.
So he's seen a breaking ball and a changeup already in this at bat.
I was talking with Mabry and Derek Mary about the fact that today's pitchers throw every pitch in their arsenal to every hitter, no matter what the situation, whether in a jam or whether, with nobody on base.
Here's the 0-2. And a base hit into center. Joyce is 1 for 2.
Back up the middle, and another lefty with a hard hit ball.
Jordy Mercer extended his hit streak to 7 games with an infield hit back in the 3rd and scored the first run of the night for Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh has their bullpen active, so if they get down to the pitcher's spot, they will pinch hit this time.
Pitch taken for his strike. The Cardinals also added an outfielder. And when he comes into the game, it'll be his first major league appearance. Jose Martinez. He came in a deal from Kansas City at $278 at AAA this year. Last now and Nicasio getting loose.
Last couple base hits. Here you see Gunn. Ball was hanging breaking ball. It's belt high, and that's going to be belted. And you see another pitch just pretty much in the middle of the plate. Left-handed hitter rifles that one back up the middle.
Inside, 2 balls and 1 strike.
That's what you got to do is keep the ball down and keep it in and out. And then later you can elevate a ball to change the eye level. But pitches in the middle, they're going to be hit hard.
There's a huge gap in left center, and left field at this ballpark is as spacious as any in the major leagues.
And it's the deepest part. Left center there, the deepest part of this park.
Hit out of play. 2-2 the count.
Unusual, but that's back where the bullpens are, and it kind of jettisons back out there. So you see the green monster wall and backdrop, but then you see the bullpen areas, and so it goes all the way back to 410. .399 to dead center field.
Cardinals may get some activity going in their pen as well. Some of these pitches, as we showed you, have been up, slowly hit and foul.
And as you say that, the Cardinals do have a right-hander up.
So 71 pitches tonight thus far for Luke Weaver. Matt Bowman getting loose in the pen. And with Reyes now being added to the bullpen, maybe slide Bowman down and Reyes takes over that later inning situation of the 6th, the 7th, maybe the 8th.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good idea of what Mike is thinking about.
2-2. Fly ball into center, and the catch is made. So Mercer 1 for 2, and it brings in Stewart.
In my mind, it's not the most ideal with Weaver and then Leake falling tomorrow, with Leake coming off the disabled list, made one throw, basically 2 weeks, but dealing with the shingles. And you and I both commented that he looks like he lost even more weight from a very slight frame. So you can't expect him to go deep into a ball game. So you really don't have that big horse that could go, guarantee like 7 to 8, 9 innings in between guys that you don't expect to go more than, say, 5 or 6.
Strike 2, Stewart. Leake tomorrow. First start since the 21st of August. He's really pitched well against Pittsburgh in his career. 9 wins. Most against any opponent, along with the Chicago Cubs. He's been good on the road this year, too, with 7 road wins.
Talked about how he was keeping everything down early in the game, and you're seeing now this inning, 74 pitches, the ball starting to get up a little bit. Get the ball up over the middle, it's going to get hit hard. There's Josh Bell, their top prospect. Saw him yesterday.
Two balls and a strike. Hit out of play, and it evens it up at 2-2.
Now we'll see if he'll throw his first changeup in this series. Fastball away.
Base hit to left.
It was down, but it was down and in. And Stewart gets his second hit. Wanted a fastball away. Fastball down and in. He just drops the bat head. Pulls it through the left side of the infield for his second hit.
So that's 6 hits allowed by Weaver. And Josh Bell will be the pinch hitter. Bell is a switch hitter. Got a couple of home runs this year, and those have come from this side of the plate.
And he was a second draft pick. He's signed out of high school, and to keep him from going to college, they gave him a $5 million signing bonus, the largest bonus they ever gave him without a player being in the first round. Good athlete, kind of raw talent. Seen, and I talked to Nick Leva about his play at first base. He said he's a little raw there. He's still trying to learn that position, but they got him for swinging the bat. And we got an RBI double yesterday as a pinch hitter.
Runners will advance to second and third, so this becomes even a bigger plate appearance for Bell. Base hit could make it a 1-run lead potentially. You see, he can be a little over aggressive, and thinking of that, the changeup, maybe get him out in front.
No doubt about it. And There, Yardie tried to stab at it. Long always likes to come in. You know, I'm never a big fan of having an infielder come in with those compensations, but Colton likes to do it in case they want to change the sequence so we would know how to relay it to a shortstop. Maybe he just wants to eavesdrop too.
I think the latter.
Sometimes those conversations are not as, exciting as you might think.
One and two the count. Two for his last 19. He's hit well at this ballpark.
Well, he was hitting so well that he took playing time away from Jaso, but then like he started getting a little bit of a rut. Jaso's earned the playing time back at first.
And the 1-2. Check swing. Did not go.
I think he went, but you know, when you see the way he holds the bat down and then he has a lot of movement, so you can see why Yachty thought he might be able to get a called strike there.
Big pitch right here. The 2-2. Weaver misses on the outside corner. Josh Harrison on deck.
Might be shocked with first base open. We don't see the changeup. Young hitter, like you said, aggressive. He's going to think he's going to get a fastball. Hasn't been his best pitch this inning. Looks like he wants the fastball up.
3-2. Little tapper back to Weaver. Steps and throws and makes the play. Pirates get a solo home run from Jung Ho Gung, and it's now 5-2. Juan Nicasio is the new pitcher for the Pirates. Ironically, he's the man that beat out Ryan Vogelsong for the fifth spot in the rotation to start this year. Now he relieves Vogelsong in this game.
Well, he had a ton of strikeouts in spring training, kind of got their attention and won that job and started in the rotation. Now he's moved back to the bullpen, still striking out a ton. But he's been charged with 4 runs on 3 hits and was inning to work on Sunday. That was when they lost 10-0 to Milwaukee, and he's been scored upon in 2 of his last 3 games. The bullpen 4-0 in 25 appearances. He's got at least one strikeout in his last 23 games and 53 total.
0-1 pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jed Jerko is lined out to left and grounded into a 5-4-3 double play in the second. And a base hit into center field. Sometimes you just look at the little things that happen in a game, and this did not cost the Pirates by any means, but with runners at second and third, 2 outs, watch the third base runner.
Yeah, he's going back to third base, not knowing how many outs. And yeah, you could say it doesn't cost you anything, but it also is a reflection of why you've lost 7 straight, and your home crowd is starting to get on you.
Had some misplays in that first inning that extended it to Yadier Molina, made him pay with a grand slam, and a solo home run by Adams in the third. The scoring for the Cardinals.
And you got a third base coach there. You know, has told him, hey, there's 2 outs, the whole thing.
Probably with every pitch.
Yeah, he's a veteran, and
every time that the ball stops and it's not in play, goes back to the pitcher. Bill Miller will go in and go over the situation with, in this case, Jed Jerko. Same thing happens over at third.
And I talked to a lot of coaches, and one of the things they really will tell you about today's baseball players, they say never assume anything. You know, you go back, and like you say, almost every pitch you're going and tell them the situation, leaned right in there, and you know, you've got to anticipate what's going to happen, where the ball is, what you're doing. But the simplest thing is how many outs.
0-2 the count on Moss. And a swing and a miss.
Strikeout right there as Ty, career high for Nicasio, 119 strikeouts. Tied when he was a member of the Rockies back in 2013.
Matt Adams with a home run tonight. Cardinals, we've been talking about it all year. We're surprised that they're hitting this many home runs. How about Brian Dozier? He had 3 home runs yesterday, and he's got another one tonight.
Really? So that's 39 home runs in the year, I believe, right?
It's 39. He's a second baseman. And here's Adams' home run back in the third. Wound up being a splash hit into the river.
We could cut that up into a couple.
Launched it.
Dozier's a good ball player, but I think he's the only guy that has more home runs in the second half than Jerko.
That ties him with Alfonso Soriano for the most home runs hit by an American League second baseman. He had 39 back in 2002. So look at the hit speed for Adams and that home run in the third. 1 ball, 1 strike.
If Matt could only stay healthy, I'd love to see what he could do against National League pitching for a full season. It's caught right there. And the power hitter loves to get their arms extended, so go in and out with them.
Shift is on, and the 1-2. Strikeout of Adams. Back-to-back Ks for Nicasio. Chevy Fox tracks. Let's take a look.
You can see why Matt thought it was outside, but kind of sliver of the black.
Cardinals announced today that they will play in both Memphis and Springfield next year. Springfield, the AA affiliate, Memphis, the AAA affiliate. That'll be in back-to-back nights before the beginning of the season, opening up at Busch Stadium. Cardinals last played in Memphis in 2015. That'll be their first trip to Springfield since 2012. Matt Gifford running that Springfield club, and we hear from all the players that get to this level. And they talk about the experience at Springfield in terms of a AA ballpark, the atmosphere second to none.
Now the organization owns the AAA affiliate in Memphis, and if you got to be in AA and AAA, they're two pretty good franchises. Take care of the players, the great fan base. Modern minor league parks are not like what I used to play in.
Lighting just a little bit different.
Well, everything, from clubhouses to lighting to facilities.
Molina got things going in the first inning with the bases loaded off a Ryan Vogelsong, an opposite field home run. His third home run on this road trip, and hitting close to 400 on the trip. Shoots it the other way, and it's foul. Vogelsong, 4 innings tonight, 5 runs on 6 hits, struck out 2, walked 1, and gave up a pair of home runs. Gulf Coast League Cardinals play a winner-take-all GCL championship game. That'll be tomorrow. Wraps up their best of 3 against the Phillies. And another 4 Cardinal affiliates begin postseason play this week as well.
That's great.
Here's a 2-2. Popped up behind home plate, out of play. Ryan Helsley is the Midwest League Pitcher of the Week. Local kid. And that's in recognition of a start that he had for Peoria last Friday, which he struck out 13. Cardinals have a few more arms that you will hear about next year, year after. Another wave of good talent is coming through. 2-2 pitch to Molina. Popped up. Out of play.
Dan, you might have a little lull in some of your position players, but if you've got the most precious commodity in baseball, and that's pitching, you can always get whatever you need. And you always never have enough pitching, too. So it's really, sometimes you have an abundance. Well, we found out this year. Thought we had several extra starters, but then a few of them start going down. Marco Gonzalez, Cooney.
2-2 is a base hit into center field. Another hard hit ball off the bat of Molina, and he's 2 for 3 tonight. He may wind up hitting 300 for the year, the way things are going.
Really just staying on the ball. It looked like not, really a controlled swing. And I think he's starting out with that, I'm going to take the ball up the middle or go to the opposite field.
Grichuk 1 for 2, base hit to left. 9 home runs in his last 22 games. Extra base hit in his last 4 games.
And the majority of his hits have been extra bases, haven't they? Rare single last time up.
So 2 on and 2 outs. Strike 1.
Set up outside, so
here's a 1-1 pitch to Grichuk. A little bit low. Mets are at Cincinnati tonight. Brandon Finnegan going for the Reds. Mets have won 12 of 16. On paper, they have the easiest schedule left in all of baseball. Miami hosting the Phillies, San Francisco at Colorado later tonight. Samardzija gets that start for the Giants. Grichuk, hard hit to third. Gung, force play at second. And the Cardinals strand 2. They've left 4 on. We are midway through 5. And the Cardinals have the lead. It's 5-2. Major League Baseball is brought to you by T-Mobile. Zach Greinke last night is returned to Dodger Stadium and roughed up 4 home runs allowed in an inning. That ties a Major League record. That's updated in the middle there, that graphic. Brian Dozier now with 39 home runs. And Chad Bettis last night, second starter with a complete game 2-hit shutout ever at Coors Field. Our Chevy called to the bullpen. Texas 2 right-hander Matt Bowman here in the bottom of the 5th. Cardinals also with a change defensively. Brandon Moss moving from right field to first base. Tommy Pham takes over in right.
So Pham will be batting 9th. And pitcher spot will be in Adams' 4th spot in the order.
First pitch, little tapper, tough play, and a base hit for Josh Harrison. He's 1 for 3 on the night.
I said Bowman's going to be a ground ball pitcher. Little swinging bunt. If you're a ground ball pitcher like Bowman is, you should be able to get a double play ball and get out of it. How about the emergence of Bowman over the course of the year? Rule 5 selection from the Mets organization, and he has been pitching more and more and more in big roles.
Now John Jaso, 2-out RBI base hit inside the right field line as Adams, who was at first base at the time, was way back and near the line, dove for it, and it was barely fair to pick up the first run of this ball game for Pittsburgh. Harrison a threat to steal with 19 this year. Well, prior to September, you'd say, well, your starter only gave you 4 innings and you don't know what you're going to get from Mike Leake tomorrow. Having said all that, you still feel covered, at least you should be, in these games.
Should be.
There's that changeup, just missed. So Luke Weaver tonight, 4 innings, 2 runs on 6 hits, struck out 5, no walks, and gave up a homer. And there's a look at Mike Leake, tomorrow's starter, first start since the 21st of August. A swing and a miss.
Luke Weaver had 86 pitches and just felt like, I mean, we'd love to see him go further, but these games are so important. Get the ball down and away right on the corner there. This ball really does run too. Good movement on it.
The 2-2 pitch to Jaso. Little flare out to left field, backing up Hazelbaker. Makes the catch for the out, and there's one away. What's left for the Cardinals? 26 games, including tonight. 14 at home, 12 on the road. The opponent's winning percentage of the remaining schedule is .516. That's the hardest among the top 5 teams in the wild card chase.
But Dan, sometimes you would rather play teams that have something to play for rather than bad teams that just play loose and free and easy and go out there. So Cardinals know what they have to do. It's in their destiny is in their hands.
I would say this too is that you've got 6 remaining with the Cubs. Cubs will win this division, and at that point in time when you're playing those games, if they've wrapped it up, 1, you talk about the edge of a team. 2, maybe getting your starters some rest. You may not be seeing the full complement of players that you normally would.
I think Joe Madden, several times you watch how he's done his starters. He's pulled them early.
Yeah.
Really concentrating, keeping their innings down so they'll be fresh for the postseason.
Can you imagine the pressure that's going to be on that team going into postseason play? Man.
Well, I mean, their fans are already, they're mapping out their World Series parade route, thinking about the parties they're going to have. And I just look at last year, when those fans went bonkers when they defeated the Cardinals, but they looked so dejected when all of a sudden the Mets just smoked them. And all of a sudden it was like, what happened? We're supposed to win now for the rest of the year. So you can see how the disappointment would be even more so. The odds are still against you. You're going to win the World Series.
Team comes in hot, or a player can get hot and carry a team. Daniel Murphy, case in point last year.
Sure. Now the one thing is they have great starting pitching, and they've got a solid bullpen, obviously. So they have the ingredients, and they've earned what their wins this year. And it's a different ball game in postseason.
2-2 pitch. Back to Bowman. Out at second. No, he threw it into center field. Should have at least 1 out, maybe 2, even with the speed of Andrew McCutchen.
When he comes out here, now you got to know before who's going to be covering. And you throw it over the second base bag, up. And not only Wong, remember, he's coming here, and he's going to kind of catch that ball chest high, preferably push off and get the throw to first base. You throw a sinker down and away to him, and he just throws him off. And so ill-fated E1.
And the tying run comes to the plate in Polanco. He has 21 home runs. He is lined out and flied out. But as we've talked about in this series, through a game and a half, he has hit the ball hard. First pitch to him is tapped foul.
Every time we see Polanco, it kind of reminds us of what would have happened, what could have been to the career. Oscar Taveras. And both of them top prospects. Both of them came up the same year.
Two. Monday pitch arsenal, fastball, slider, and change from Bowman. In dealing with Polanco, who leads your club in home runs and RBIs. 21 and 80, both are career highs. The 0-2. Basin into right. McCutchen on his way to third, and a nice play by Pham to hold Polanco to a single, and that makes it 5-3.
First RBI for Polanco, breaks that long 0 for 19, 18. And all of a sudden now, Gunn comes up and swinging that hot bat.
If you're Derek Lilliquist and Mike Matheny, you watch Bowman. This guy has got a little bit of a temper, and he's had the air, and now the 0-2 mistake to Polanco. Need to regroup.
Yachty usually is so good about that he'll read that when the guy needs to, slow things down, take a deep breath. Nothing wrong with the temper as long as you can channel it.
Runners at first and third, and a 1-0 pitch. Just don't want to see the inning escape here from Matt Bowman.
Absolutely. Still, and now Derek will come out and talk to him and slow him down a little bit. And I'm sure when Derek come out there and just slow him down, just take a deep breath, just remember, make one good pitch and you can get the double play and get out of this inning. If you get mad and elevate the ball or something, all of a sudden, it's a 3-run home run and they're leading.
Back in the fourth inning, a no-doubter. The solo home run number 15 for Gunn in his first hit since returning from the DL. That was off Luke Weaver, tonight's starter.
Something about Cardinal pitching kind of gets him going.
Doesn't it, though? Into center field. A run will score, and the lead is cut to 5-4. So 3 hits in the inning for Pittsburgh.
I see right up over the middle of the plate. You're trying to overthrow a ball. You don't have any sink or movement on it. You're just too good of a hitter for that.
Now Matt Joyce, who's 1 for 2. He struck out in the second. He saw a curveball, changeup, fell behind 0-2, and then singled on the 0-2 delivery. Fastball, a good one from Bowman.
23. Joyce looked like he was trying to hit that one downtown. Literally, in this ballpark.
Zach Duke getting loose quickly in the Cardinals' pen. No balls and a strike. Bowman at times reminds me of our colleague Brad Thompson. You wouldn't know it, but I'll tell you what, there is a fire that burns within that young man, and when things don't go right, there is a temper. There was a little indecision too on that comebacker to him. He gets the ball. You have McCutchen running down the first base line. You've got to hurry to get the double play. Someone should be at the bag. Wong was maybe a little tardy getting there, but bottom line, that play's got to be made. The 2-1.
Everything you're saying is correct. Dan, but we'll see this. Ball hit right back at you like that. You turn and throw. You're supposed to know who's going to cover, and then you're supposed to throw it right over the bag, chest high.
Yep.
And it wasn't there. If Wong or Jerko is not there, that's their fault. But he threw the ball wide and down low, and that's where really the error is.
It looked like Wong was stutter stepping, so he was in the area trying to get himself
footwork and
momentum there to do it.
And like you say, the most important thing is to make sure you get one. So get the out at second base, get the lead man, and then if they can complete the double play, so be it. If they don't, Kutcher was running, so it may be a question anyway.
The 2-2. Lined off the glove of Moss. They'll hold up the runner at third, Polanco, and the bases will be loaded. So the Cardinals defensively, the error, and now Moss with an error. 2 in the inning.
And Moss, I mean, he's just probably fit to be tied. He's only made, this is his 4th error of the year. Just a line drive, and just tell you probably, I can't believe I missed that ball. Knocks it down, and the inning continues. But you were talking about the misplays of the Pirates yesterday. Well, the Cardinals are putting on their display.
Now Jordy Mercer. Bowman has dealt with this bases loaded situation a bunch. Many times, though, when he comes in, it's not of his doing. Can't say that tonight. Zach Duke, you would assume, is ready to come in this game.
They're waiting for a left-handed batter to come up for Duke. Possibly. We've seen him face righties, but
got a switch hitter on deck, then Harrison, then John Jaso hits from the left side. But at any point, they could counter with David Freese or Starling Marte, Sean Rodriguez. We've seen some hard hit balls in this inning. Bowman needs that double play, the 1-1. Take it high, 2 balls, 1 strike. In an inning that's starting to get away from the Cardinals.
It's also a game. You had a 5-0 lead. 5-2 when this inning started.
The 2-2. Out to left, and that ball will get down. 2 runs will score. Throwing to third is not in time, and the Pirates have their first lead of the night, 6-5.
Jordy Mercer was the one Pirate yesterday that was trying to tell the fan base, hey, be patient. We're struggling right now. We'll figure it out. And he figures Bowman out. Ball up. Pulls it out to left field. Hazelbaker gets it back in, but not before they take the lead.
Chevy called to the pen, and the Cardinals turn it over to the lefty, Zach Duke. By Academy Sports and Outdoors, right stuff, low price every day. And by your local Volkswagen dealer. The Pirates have their first lead of the night at 6-5. And runners at second and third. Tough night for Matt Bowman. A couple of errors behind him, and now Zach Duke, his 70th appearance.
Yeah, 70th appearance overall, his 17th with the Cardinals, where he's 0-1 with a 0.66 ERA.
First pitch, a strike.
Long-time starter with the Pittsburgh Pirates.
You know, Bowman is just kicking himself after the potential inning-ending double play. He committed the error. And we saw in the replay that Wong was at the bag. Throw was wide, and all of a sudden, floodgates open. Base hit by Polanco, Gung the base hit, an error on Moss, and a double by Jordy Mercer. Stewart is 2 for 2. And takes a ball outside. 1-1 the count.
0 for 3 against Duke. Looks like David Freese is at the on-deck circle.
And the squeeze, but a foul ball.
Joyce wasn't exactly racing down the third baseline, but if he get the bunt in fair territory, it's pretty easy. He'll score. At the foul ball, strike, and it goes back.
One ball and 2 strikes. Duke was booed as he was introduced to the folks here in Pittsburgh. He told Jim Hayes in an interview yesterday that he comes back, kind of bittersweet for him, and the fact that he was here when they were bad, they got good, they got rid of him.
Wanted to be a part of it when they turned things around, and as he said, they didn't want me. Now he's reinvented himself as a reliever.
2-2.
Just sets up the double play off the bat of Freeze. David is 3 for 10 with a home run and 3 RBIs against Duke.
David with a base hit, RBI to right field yesterday, made the start at third base.
We're all very happy to see he got a 2-year extension with club option third.
Going to right again. Wong, nice play out there, double play. Colton Wong again ranging far to his left, and a huge play for the Cardinals as he starts the double play. Great job, Colton Wong again.
Why you were surprised? I said he set up the double play.
Just like they drew it up. the pen. And so he is in here in the top of the 6th. The Cardinals will start with Johnny Peralta. Tell you what, Colton Wong has had some kind of road trip, not just at the plate, but what he has done defensively for this club. And we talk about it a lot when Whitey would say about Ozzie Smith, well, he may not drive in 100, he may save 100. Well, Wong has saved a bunch of runs on this trip.
Sure has, and he's hit well too, but his defense has been spectacular. And there have been times when the Cardinals are just scoring via the home run, which is the case again tonight with a grand slam and a solo shot. But can't just sit back and wait for home runs all the time.
So here is Peralta. He was robbed back in the 3rd by Gung, and is also singled to left field. 6-5 our score. Cardinals have Peralta, Hazelbaker, and Pham. 7, 8, and 9 in the lineup for the Cardinals. Here's a 1-0 pitch to the Cardinals' third baseman. 1 ball and 1 strike. Just joined us. The Cardinals jumped out to a 5-0 lead in this game. Grand slam by Molina. Long home run hit by Adams. And at that point, 5-0. Now 6-5. Here's a 1-1. High fly ball into right field. Matt Joyce under it for the first out. Make sure you don't miss the Baseball Hall of Fame tour at Ballpark Village now through September 11th. Rare artifacts, enjoy one-of-a-kind IMAX movie, much more. Fans can add the tour to any Cardinals ticket for just $10. For tickets and information, visit halloffametour.com. If you're a baseball fan, you will love it. Here's Jeremy Hazelbaker. Twice his fly to center, 0 for 2. Pistardo comes to the Pirates for Jonathan Neese. As Neese went back to the Mets, he was part of the Neil Walker deal, and then now the Pistardo deal. Neese done for the year with knee surgery.
Top inning for Bowman, a 1/3 of an inning, 4 hits, 4 runs, but just 1 earned. But misleading because his error, 1 of 2 in that inning, but his error is what started the downfall. Potential double play ball he threw away.
Mentioned that Aledmys Diaz will play tomorrow in Springfield. May see him over the weekend in St. Louis. Matt Holliday has a scheduled MRI tomorrow. They'll get the results on that and then plan a course of action for him. Trevor Rosenthal bullpen yesterday. A couple of more bullpens, and Cardinals looking at probably 10 to 14 days before anything could be done with Trevor. 2-1 pitch. And then Michael Wacha, he'll throw tomorrow, and the Cardinals looking at probably 10 to 14 days with him. So still some time left in this season to get the injured players back. 2-2 the count.
Right now, you got to battle back and win this ball game.
Hazelbaker, soft liner, backing up Mercer to make the catch. That brings in the right fielder Tommy Pham. First plate appearance for Tommy tonight. 2 outs and nobody on here in the top of the 6th.
Mets are trailing at Cincinnati by 1, 3-2 in the 6th inning.
First pitch is hit out of play. Boy, you watch this team this year, and that inning, in a way, sums up the Cardinals. This game, in a way, sums up the Cardinals. Couple of home runs, but errors, some miscues defensively. And with that, a 6-5 Pittsburgh lead. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Pistardo to Tommy Pham. Taken high. Tommy Pham, 1 home run shy of 10. Then you'd have another Cardinal that's in double figures in home runs.
That'd be 12, something like that.
2-1 pitch. Popped up to the right side and out of play. Well, if you're a manager and you make a move in September, you better be careful, because then you're probably down to 13 left in your pen.
Yeah.
That's on the low end.
Football roster at the late September, but you call as many up as 40.
The 2-2. Adams, Carpenter, Diaz, Grichuk, Jerko, Hazelbaker, Holiday, Moss, Piscotty, all in double figures in home runs. The 2-2 pitch to Pham. Inside.
Mentioned that Pistardo came here for the Jonathan Neese trade, but see how close it is. This is the second time he's been with the Pirates. He was with them also in 2015.
Pham on the 3-2 hits it out of play.
He was the second lefty they got after they traded Justin Wilson to the Yankees for Cervelli.
Pistardo, a long look. And now he's set for this 3-2 again to Pham. Here she comes. And it's a walk. Tying run is aboard. And it brings in Colton Wong, who has tripled to start the game, just past Gregory Polanco in left. Was called out on strikes in the second and grounded out to second.
Pistardo has allowed just 1 hit, 16 at bats to a left-handed hitter, and that was yesterday to a Cardinal.
Adams home run. Talking with Matt, he said not only was it great to get it here at home, family and friends, but to do it off a lefty. Big lead by Pham at first base.
Pistardo's hit the pause button, hadn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Got 2 outs. Don't have to worry about that runner there on home plate.
Strike 1 to Wong. So yesterday 2 Cardinals were hit, Carpenter and Piscotty. Pitch up and in to Wong, trying to hang in there to see if that ball breaks. Nope, it's straight right at his head.
That's how you spin away from a ball inside. We saw that, Vogelsong got hit in the face, but he froze. That's usually how you get hit, is when you really don't move and you just freeze.
Here's a 1-1 pitch to Wong instead of check on Pham at first.
Dan, it's, I'm worried that somebody's going to get hurt because it's so rare when somebody pitches up and in, pitches inside. So hitters are so accustomed to diving across the plate or taking swings and never really pitched inside to most hitters' weakness.
Wong, little flare out to left. That ball will drop in front of Polanco, and it puts Tommy Pham in scoring position. Walk, base hit. Here with 2 outs, and it brings in Jed Jerko.
Another multi-hit game.
Do you want to see, if you're Clint Hurdle, Jerko face a lefty in this spot? This was the reason the Cardinals initially brought him in. The idea was Jed Jerko will face a lefty many times in a season, coming off the bench, to give you power, to give you that chance. His numbers have been very good against lefties in his career.
And we talked about and the last several years you had no batter on your bench that the opposing manager or pitcher staff would fear. Because they just had that nobody was accomplished hitters, but they're going to do a single probably at best. Felipe Rivero. They got in the Melanson trade. That's another left-hander. Now you see the numbers. He is 0.05 of a point more. He's done his damage against the righties, but it still puts a little fear.
So 2 outs and 2 on. Pitch to Jerko. And a strike on the inside corner.
Dan, lefty-righty matchups are really misleading. Because if you make a good pitch, you can get anybody out. You make a careless pitch, doesn't matter if it's lefty against lefty, righty against righty. They can jump you.
Jed tonight is lined out to left, grounded into a double play, and then singled off Nicasio his last time up in the 5th.
I think Bastardo is being paid by how long, not how many pitches. How long it takes him to complete an inning.
Pick off and no one at the bag. Playing catch with Harrison.
And there's such a thing to hold the ball and take a hitter, and the base runner's uncomfortable, but it's uncomfortable for you as a pitcher to hold the ball too long too. One's a fastball, two's a curve, three's a slider, third is a changeup. Hope he's saying, but I don't want to throw these pitches. I want to go home. Yeah, he's got all of his defense back on their heels too. Blanco's out in left field, and he was squatted down.
Here's the 0-1 pitch to Jed Jerko. Ooh, good cut. That one caught Stewart. And it's no balls and 2 strikes, and Stewart is shook up a bit.
Straight back into the mask.
I caught him square in the mask.
And then I think it might have got his thumb also.
Medical team of the Pirates out to visit, make sure that Stewart is okay.
That's how they had to get Eric Fryer, didn't they? They lost Cervelli and Stewart at the same time.
Bleeding just a bit there on the chin. He says he's all right. Oh, and 2 the count. Yachty knows all about that. So does that man. So 2 outs, 2 on. No balls, 2 strikes here on Jed Jerko. On deck, Brandon Moss. Struck him out. Big strikeout for Bastardo. This game 6-5, Archaea in the driver's seat. Look at the wild card race and the current top 5 teams and what they've done since the All-Star break. The biggest surprise on there has to be San Francisco, 16-31, and at one point the best record in baseball in the first half.
Wow. And with that pitching staff, but you got to take care of yourself.
There's Josh Harrison, who struck out looking, lined out to left, and an infield hit to start the rally. 4 runs back in the 5th off of Matt Bowman. Zach Duke got a huge double play for the Cardinals after the walk of Stewart. David Freese, the pinch hitter. Very fine play by Colton Wong to start a 4-6-3 double play and end the threat. 2-0 the count on Harrison. Make it 3 balls and no strikes.
Kind of looking forward, and you don't want to say one bad outing from Bowman kind of changes the complexion, but does Mike Matheny really have that guy that he feels comfortable enough that can bridge the gap from the starter? If he see, it's so important to go 5 or 6 innings, but if you got Reyes in between, that's the magic weapon.
Ground ball that's hit to short. Jerko bare hands. What a play, Jed Jerko. Do or die in the bare hand play to get the speedy Josh Harrison.
He has really surprised me this year at how well he's played defensively. I know he had some pop, but the way he's played second, short, third, he's done a really nice job, and right there to have that confidence. Barehanded. And boy, getting the leadoff hitter of an inning is so big. But you know what I mean? If you don't get deep in the game, then How do you get to Reyes? How do you get to Seagrass? No.
But to me, that's the importance right now of Alex Reyes and why he's in that pen.
Jason Rogers.
He's pinch hitting for Jaso, and it's 2 balls and no strikes.
Remember, he was traded for Broxton, Keon Broxton of Milwaukee. Big power hitter. Didn't really materialize minor leagues.
Stabbed at by Peralta, and the pick by Moss at first. So good defense by the Cardinals being shown here in the home half of the 6th.
Yeah, Johnny had to cut off that ball because probably Rogers of a bulldog guy, but it looked like he runs well enough to where if Jerko had to field it, probably wouldn't be able to get that out. But very nice play by Johnny, and also Moss over there to pick it up.
Luke Weaver went 4 innings tonight. I'm sure one of the things the Cardinals will tell you after this game, they felt some of those pitches starting to get up.
Well, that was true.
Some hard outs against him.
Yeah, it was so good early in the ball game. The first 2, he retired 6 in a row, and for the second start in a row, he gets down to the bottom 3rd and ran into a little trouble. But he will learn. But the one thing I also like about him too, Dan, is he's not afraid at all. #1 draft pick in 2014. He's out of Florida State. Not a big guy at all, but he pitches like a big guy.
0-2 the count on McCutchen. Reached on an error and scored back in the 5th. Struck out twice against Luke Weaver swinging. 0 for 3 tonight. Outfield is deep. They are straight away. 1-2 is a ground ball in the hole. Jerko off balance throw, and Moss can't come up with it.
Just another real sweet play.
So base hit for McCutchen extends the inning to Polanco.
Deep in the hole. He's got to get it over there as quick as possible. Tries to get that good clean bounce out in front, and he just Moss couldn't pick it on the backhand.
Polanco, an RBI base hit on an 0-2 pitch back in the 5th. Lined out to right, flied out to center.
So you remember, reminds you a little bit of Tavares. Cardinals, they were both the top prospects in the organization. Also, if you add another half body to him, it's the Cobra. Dave Parker. And believe it or not, Dave Parker was much quicker.
Outfield deep straight away. McCutchen only 6 steals this year. Not the threat that he once was. There's strike 1. Cardinals jumped out to a 5-0 lead. Now trails 6-5. The 0-1 pitch. Now 0-2. Oh-2 pitch. Wouldn't chase. Duke will give you those 2 different angles, especially against the lefties, in which he drops down. That's what changed his career. There it is.
Did that while he's in AAA with Cincinnati back in 2013.
And he strikes out Polanco. Nice work by Duke out of the pen. 6-5 Pittsburgh.
was acquired in the Melanson trade from the Nationals. All left-hander, 25 years of age, 6'2", 210, looks taller than that, but he's done a pretty good job since coming over here. Did allow 2 runs in a third of an inning Saturday night. He's had at least 1 strikeout in 14 of his last 15 games, 22 total. And he's got a 1.26 ERA in his last 31 appearances. So Sean Rodriguez will take over at first base. Boy, his dad, Johnny, is a manager in the Cardinals farm system and just a tremendous all-around defensive player. It's hit the Cardinals well.
This is our Gateway Honda home run inning. Cardinals hit a home run. The Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. Rivero is a good one. We saw him against the Cardinals pitching with Washington earlier this year, and he was flat out nasty. .65 Pittsburgh here in the top of the 7th. Brandon Moss at the plate. 98 on the gun from the left side with a good slider. Well, if you're going to trade Melanson, you've got to get some pretty good property coming back, and there's one of them.
Yeah, they got another minor league pitcher, Taylor Hearn, exchanged from Melanson.
Here's a 1-1 to Moss. 98 again on the gun. Brandon Moss is walked and scored, fly to center, and also struck out.
And I think it was 2013 when we started seeing Segrist and all these Cardinal guys coming up out of the minor leagues throwing 95 plus. Now everybody's got those guys. It's not that big a deal.
1-2.
But you can see how left-handed hitters with tall, lanky, hard thrower like Felipe is, and really slings the ball up there. Hard to stay in. The front shoulder starts bailing.
2-2 pitch. Moss. Soft liner and caught by Harrison. This will be a major league debut for the St. Louis Cardinals. Jose Martinez, who came in a deal with Kansas City. He's an outfielder that hit .278 at AAA. Big guy, around 6'5", and getting his major league debut right here.
And I talked to him today, and he was so excited. He's played 887 minor league games, and now timeout has been called. 887 minor league games. This is his first day in the big leagues, getting his first at bat. He won a batting title last year in the Pacific Coast League playing for Kansas City, but was not called up. And I thought that was pretty unusual. And he said, well, I understood. He said, I was really disappointed that first day, but they used their 40th person on the roster to get Johnny Gomes, a veteran for a team that's going to postseason. So I was disappointed, but I understood. But I am really excited about today. Got into the hotel about midnight. Seemed like he wanted to talk to all of his buddies or whatever, but decided everyone was in bed, and so he said, I laid awake all night dreaming about this at bat.
1 out and nobody on. First pitch to him. He's taken for a ball. Jose Martinez, major league debut. Cardinals down by a run. Grand slam by Molina. Solo home run by Adams. 5-0 lead. And the Pirates have come back with 6 unanswered. The 1-0.
Didn't wait all that time to take pitches. Let it go.
Carson Kelly in his major league debut picked up a double, caught 3 innings yesterday.
By the way, winning that batting title in the Pacific Coast League last year, 15, he batted .384. Primarily a first baseman, can play the outfield also.
Now time is called. 1-2 the count. One-two pitch. Get off the end of the bat.
He said he's at least 6'5", and like a lot of moving parts in that swing.
That shift that they have there, that Sean Rodriguez, the first baseman.
So far off the line, but they're kind of playing to hit to right in the outfield. Big gap out in left center, and in the infield, it kind of.
1-2 hit out of play.
Pretty unusual defensive alignment, isn't it?
Yep. What it does show you, though, is how far the scouting reports do go. I mean, they have the understanding of where to play him and where the numbers tell you to play him, even for a guy that's never played in the major leagues. Hit to third. 2 down. Vogelsong went 4 innings tonight. Then Nicasio, Bistardo, and Rivero. 2 outs, nobody on. And it'll be Yadier Molina.
2 for 3. The one time they got him out, he lined the ball to right. 4th grand slam, the first inning.
Plaza Tire Service replay. The slider. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Molina.
I mean,
0-2.
It's 99. It just looks nice and easy, doesn't it? Like explodes out of his hand.
I thought this was the best lefty we saw this year when he came through St. Louis. Speed range 99, 84 the low. Because of what you're talking about, free and easy, ball explodes out of his hand. He was hitting triple digits one of the games against St. Louis.
You see the, the tall, long arms, and slings the ball. And besides that, he's got a Rawlings glove. That makes him good, right?
Molina with a fly ball out to right. Will it carry? It's off the top of the wall.
He misses it out in right field. Joyce with the relay, but it doesn't change the fact.
Boy, he is a couple of feet away from tying this game.
Yeah, that went off that yellow band at the top of the Clemente wall. All out there. Watch. Looks like right off that tall wall. Got his 3 hits tonight.
Now Randall Grichuk. 2 outs, runner at second base. Tying run is Yadier Molina. Would you think about, even though he's swinging the bat so well, pinch running for Yadi in this spot? Running out of outs. Just something to think about.
Well, I think you're tempted, but as you said, the way he's swinging the bat right now and the way he can guide a pitching staff, I'm sure that's why Mike is not considering it. Considering it, but not doing it.
Late with that swing. 1 ball and 1 strike on Randall Grichuk.
Richard's got that to 299 now with runners in scoring position. Early in the season, it was about 100 points or less.
Outside. 2-1.
Might be doing Grichuk a favor by throwing the slider off speed pitch. Even though he's so quick with his bat. Something about hitting a fastball at high velocity, and there's something about trying to hit a great fastball, which you're seeing now.
The 2-2. Two pitch to Grichuk. Struck him out. Congratulate the newest members of the Cardinals Hall of Fame. Edward Jones was honored to sponsor the Hall of Fame and the annual induction process that gives fans a voice in recognizing the team's greatest players. Down by a run, the Cardinals turn to Kevin Segrist in our Chevy Colt to the pen. It'll be Gunn, Joyce, and Mercer for the Pirates. Yachty was maybe a foot, 2 away from tying this game up. Molina, by the way, is a triple away from the cycle.
That's why I didn't say it. It was a triple. Segrist, it's 58th appearance, Dan, and it's kind of like Mike Matheny has a few guys that he trusts, and there's one run down. You want to keep that way and give your team a chance, but at some point, you keep on bringing the same guys in, then when you're losing, you don't have them on those days when you want to use them to close out a victory.
Strike to the Pirates' third baseman. Couple of runs scored, 2 hits. He's driven into. Home half of the 7th. A 6-5 lead as Gunn hits it down the right field line and foul out of play. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cardinals. Here's an 0-2. And he struck him out. That's how we start play in the bottom of the 7th.
Right inside there. A little bit in, but touches the black, and we get the strikeout.
This ball game started with Luke Weaver, 4 innings. Then Bowman, Zach Duke, and now Segrist. Joyce has struck out, singled on an 0-2 pitch, and reached on an error. Good curveball.
Mike Matheny and Derek Lilliquist decide to take Luke Weaver as we look at the curveball. Decided to take him out after 4 innings, about 86 pitches. And yes, pitches were getting up, but what if he would have thrown that 5th inning and had a scoreless frame? That might have changed the whole complexion of this ball game. 4-run 5th inning for the Buccos against Bowman.
Cardinals had that 5-run lead. Then it was 5-2 when Bowman came in the game in the 5th. A couple of errors behind him, one by him, and that was detrimental to the Cardinals in that 5th.
Now, there's 3 unearned runs in this game, but 3rd of an inning they got 4 hits off.
So in the 5th inning, it's a base hit by Harrison. Rogers flied out, and then a potential double play ball. Error on Bowman. Later in the inning with Joyce up, and error on Brandon Moss.
The rocket, but Moss will tell you he needs to catch that ball.
Three and 2. Three-two pitch. Walked him.
New York has a 4-3 lead in Cincinnati now.
So 1 out walk, and it brings in Jordy Mercer. And there's a strike at the knees. Mercer with 2 hits tonight and an RBI. A double that actually drove in 2. 10 hits aside in this game. Hits it down the left field line. That ball is hooking and foul.
Hazelbaker catches this ball. Why isn't it out? Being facetious there, but you gotta try something, don't you?
Oh yeah. Inside. Cardinals will have Peralta, Hazelbaker, and Pham looking ahead to the 8th. Segrist would love the double play. 2-2.
They'd love that double play to keep that pitch count down too.
Pulled foul. 2-2 the count. Jordy Mercer 1 for 7, 4 strikeouts against the Cardinals lefty.
Yeah, very tough on right-handed batters with that fastball changeup combination. Incorporated the curveball this spring, or refined it to help him with the left-handed batters.
The 2-2 out of play. Reminder, our What's on Tap as we wrap up the road trip tomorrow. Coverage begins at 5:30. Mike Leake gets that start for the Cardinals, his first since the 21st of August. Popped up and playable. Moss standing in fair territory makes the catch. And with that, there's 2 outs.
Stewart filling in for Cervelli has done his job, 2 for 2 with a walk.
So 2 outs, runner at first. Strike 1. Here's an 0-1 pitch to Chris Stewart. 0-2.
Stewart is 1 for 1 off of Segrist.
And the 0-2 pitch by Kevin Segrist. Instead, a check on the runner at first. Foul back and a good cut.
Pitch up and away.
Grichuk shading now in right center. Out to shallow center and going out to make the catch, Colton Wong. So a scoreless frame for Segrist. And that sends us to the 8th. It's 6-5 Buccos. The Mets 1 game back of St. Louis for the final wild card spot. And it gets even tighter potentially. Cardinals half game back of San Francisco for the top spot. That's how close it is to where you could be the top spot waking up tomorrow or tied for the second.
Absolutely. Second inning of work for this young left-hander. Rivero. Like Piscotty will hit for Hazelbaker. That's a good sign, but get Johnny on.
Peralta tonight, base hit to left center. Was robbed by Gung in the 3rd. Faced Bastardo in the 6th and flied out to right. And the 1-0 pitch to the Cardinals' 3rd baseman. Back to Rivero. Underhands to Rodriguez at first base for the out.
Good to see Piscotty after being hit in the wrist yesterday. He didn't start today. X-rays were negative, but he was lobbying to get back in the lineup today. He'll get his chance here.
Here it is yesterday, and he said with those shadows really had a hard time just picking up the baseball. Late reaction and took one off the hand.
Well, he was surprised he got hit because he didn't really see it. And boy, you get so worried about little bones or the hook of the hymate in your wrist. Used to be the time a guy got hit in the wrist, that hook of the hymate, which I've been told has no function anymore. But it is a painful little injury to a hitter.
0-1 pitch. It's Mike Myers and Jonathan Broxton. It's spelled M-A-Y-E-R-S, but pronounced Myers. 1 ball and 1 strike on Stephen Piscotty. Into left center. That ball is off the base of the wall. Piscotty on his way to second, and he will stop there.
He wanted to go to third, but just couldn't risk it. He's in scoring position right now, and I think the wrist is okay. Ball down, and he just jumped on that, plugs it out the deepest part of the field. right out there where the bullpens are, a little bit to the left of there, and you go back another 10 feet or so.
So the tying run in scoring position. Here's Tommy Pham. First pitch to Pham from Rivero. Late with the swing and strike one. He walked back in the 6th inning. Tying run at second. Go ahead run at the plate.
11 of his last 22 hits have been extra base hits.
0-2.
His last hit period was on August 19th in Philadelphia. Moved for his last 18. He did walk. You know, when he can get the ball to jump off his bat. How about his 10th home run of the year?
One and two the count. Wong is on deck. Two down.
Second strikeout for Rivero. Is that Colton Wong, who was 1 for 2 off of this tough left-hander. We've been very impressed with Colton defensively and offensively on this road trip.
2 outs, runner at second base. First pitch is strike.
8 for 18 with 2 home runs on this road trip for Colton, and some very good defensive play.
Here's the 0-1. The fly ball lifted out to left, and Rivero will give the Pirates 2 scoreless innings. Cardinals strand the runner, their 8th of the night. Buccos on top at 6-5. St. Louis Cardinals baseball is brought to you by Michelob Ultra, brewed for those who go the extra mile. And by Ford, the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals. 11 hits aside, but 2 costly errors for the Cardinals, and they are on the short end currently. 6-5 our score. And this is our Chevy call to the pen, Mike Myers, who was selected in the 3rd round back in 2013 out of Ole Miss. It was this time last year that he was having thoracic outlet surgery, and here he is in his 2nd big league appearance. The first one is one that you'd like to probably forget. It was against the Dodgers, Sunday Night Baseball. And in that debut, each of the first 4 batters you may recall he faced in the first inning reached base. All scored on a grand slam by Adrian Gonzalez. And in all, 10 of the 14 reached base as Myers surrendered 9 earned. Ground ball that's hit to short. Jerko makes the play, and there's 1 down. That's Sean Rodriguez.
And I think he could pick a sigh of relief right now for getting this out. Myers on the year was 9-10 with a 3.19 ERA and 25 starts. He was a AA and AAA, and like you said, pretty rapid rise to the big leagues after that thoracic outlet syndrome. And just shows you that what they think of his potential to recall him after that outing.
Here's Josh Harrison. I'm sure part of this too is that they don't want him, a highly thought of prospect, going into this offseason with that bad game and leaving that taste in his mouth.
Yeah, well, I mean, think about 25 starts and you got a 3.19 ERA in a very, very offensive-minded league, the Pacific Coast League. So there's something there.
First major leaguer to give up at least 9 runs while advancing through fewer than 2 innings in his debut.
He's going to start real positive numbers.
1 ball and 2 strikes on Harrison. He struck out, flied out, base hit, run scored, and grounded out.
I've always said the value of bringing up a kid and put him in the bullpen.
Popped up. Foul territory, and Moss with the catch. 2 down.
You put a kid in the bullpen and he doesn't have that bad of numbers. You know, you can go out there and protect him a little bit, get him accustomed to what it's like. And I think Mike Matheny is going to be really pleased if he give you that 1-2-3 inning and saying that's what you start building on. That's the time, that's the pitcher you are, not the, you know, your first game. It was almost painful watching his family that night.
Not almost, it was.
Well,
it was tough.
Yeah.
There's a strike. Most popular way to follow the Cardinals is with MLB.com at bat. #1 app for live baseball for all your devices. 0-1 pitch. Now 0-2. This is Alan Hansen at the plate.
He's from the Dominican, and I noticed that he is the fastest player in their minor league system, which I'm sure means he's pretty quick. Find out.
All right, Mike Myers, welcome back.
Yep, that's what you build on, kid. Now get him a win.
6-5 Pirates. of Melanson to the Nationals. Watson is thrust into the role of closing games out. He's 10 of 14 in save opportunities. He has been one of the most reliable lefties in all of baseball and very tough in his career against the Cardinals. There's no doubt about that. He'll get Jerko. He'll lead it off, followed by Moss and then a pinch hitter.
He's got a 1.32 ERA in his last 36 games since June 7th. Worked the scoreless ninth inning in a non-save situation yesterday, so he needed some work. He's actually been 10 of 12 since moved into the closer's role. 2 of those blown saves were when he was a setup guy. So he really is. He was an excellent setup guy, one of the tops in all of baseball, and they felt like he could handle the closing role, and he does.
Out in front, ground ball. It's hit to short. Mercer showing off the arm for the first out. Don't miss St. Louis's biggest office party and the workplace wellness event of the year. It's the Biz Dash next Thursday. STLBizDash.com for more.
Still looking for his first hit of this road trip. This will be the time to deliver.
Tapped foul for strike one.
.25 home runs. Of course, Moss played here, Pittsburgh, but he was kind of a journeyman struggling. Went to Oakland and kind of figured things out and became the home run hitter he is right now. After almost quitting.
They've got Polanco in left field. He's near the line. Big gap in left center. And on the infield, they anticipate a ground ball to the right side.
That is interesting where Polanco's playing in left.
Yeah. 2-1 pitch.
We've always seen everybody just play Moss to pull. Of course, that pitch right there, cross firing.
The 2-2. Matt Carpenter has moved to the on-deck circle. Soft liner, caught at first, and there's 2 down. Struggles continue for Brandon Moss over his last 22.
Bring up Carpenter, who struggled. Had a double yesterday, but it's been a tough road trip for Carpenter and needed a day off. He is 4 for 28 on the road trip at 143. And he's hit 133, 2 for 15 off of Watson.
Strike one.
Race in the National League is getting a little tighter. The Mets won 5-3 at Cincinnati. Cardinals don't win this game, they're tied with the Mets for the second spot.
Carpenter with a high fly ball. into right. It is gone! This game is tied! The Cardinals down to their final strike, and Matt Carpenter, a pinch hit home run, and now it's a new pinch hit record in Major League Baseball. And what a way to do it! We're tied at 6.
15th pinch hit home run for the Cardinals. As you said, the record, 199th overall. They've hit home runs in 25 straight games, and this is the 3rd of this night. Holy smokes. And, Danny, this is why we didn't pinch run for Molina a couple innings ago. Yachty got things started with a grand slam in the 1st. Carpenter ties it with a solo pinch hit home run here in the 9th.
It's now a new ball game and a new record. 15 pinch hit home runs by the 2016 Cardinals. And what a way to set the record. Wow. Incredible.
You were feeling you were down by 1, but it felt like 5. And now all of a sudden you got new life. It's like everybody knew that this ball was going out, but the Pirate fans couldn't believe it. But now you got to battle, keep on battling, and you got to win it.
That's well hit. Out to left. Have a night, Yadier Molina. He's on his way to second base. And standing up. And Yadier Molina, his 4th hit. A home run, a single, and now 2 doubles.
Molina was 1 for 11 off of Watson. Carpenter was 2 for 15 off of Watson. And both of them jump on high pitches. Now he loves it out there in left center. Blanco cuts it off, and not before he gets his another double. So 2 doubles in this game, a single and a grand slam for Yadier Molina. And Ray Surge is making a slow walk out to talk to his closer.
The Cardinals with 3 home runs tonight. The grand slam. That was off the bat of Molina. Then a ball hit by Adams that went into the river. And then with 0-2, the count on Matt Carpenter, he has tied this game up at 6. It is a new single season all-time record. Most pinch hit home runs, the Cardinals with 15. And they did it in fine fashion. Wow.
You're talking about the fact that the Mets had won their ball game.
Grichuk, fly ball, deep left. It is gone! Randall Grichuk, 2-run homer. Cardinals back on top. They have come back in the most remarkable of fashion. A 2-run homer by Grichuk, and the Cardinals have the lead.
2 outs, bottom of the 9th, 2 strikes on Carpenter. We got Tony Watson out there, one of the best relievers in the game, and all of a sudden you get the home run, a double, and now a 2-run shot by Grichuk. And once that ball took off, everybody knew it was gone. That's the way to have your 200th home run of the year, isn't it?
Wow. Down to their final strike, and now the Cardinals have an 8-6 lead on what could be the signature win of this season.
Until tomorrow's win. That's the way it is. You just gotta win.
Seung-Hwan Oh is up and throwing in the Cardinals pen.
I said something about not give Myers the win. He's in line for it.
The 2-0 pitch to Peralta. And that's well hit. Right field. Why not? Opposite field shot. Peralta. 3 home runs here in the top of the 9th for St. Louis. An unbelievable 9th inning. And Watson can't believe it. Neither can we. Holy Holy smokes!
Dan, can you remember the last time we even scored off of Tony Watson? He has been that reliable for the Buccos several years as a setup man to Melanson. And look at this one. Third home run, 4 straight hits after he got 2 outs very easily here in the 9th inning. Wow.
This place is stunned. I mean stunned. Aren't you? You bet. Nice. The Cardinals with an 0-2 count on Carpenter. He tied it up with the team's 15th pinch hit home run, which sets now the all-time record. That tied it. Grichuk, after a double from Molina, put the Cardinals on top. And then an opposite field home run by Johnny Peralta, all coming with 2 outs here in the top of the 9th. An incredible turn of events here in Pittsburgh.
Carpenter had a 133 average against Watson. Grichuk had a 143. Molina was 0 for 91. And Johnny Peralta was 222. And they all jumped it. Don't stop here. Here, notice it during the pitching change. The outfielders got together in center. The infielders were behind the pitcher's mound, and they're all talking to themselves like, what happened?
Wouldn't you? Oh. It's unbelievable. 3 home runs here in the top of the 9th.
5 on the night.
0-2 pitch to Piscotty is tapped foul.
201 home runs now for the Redbirds this year. Look out, 2000. That was the year, right? 2000, they hit 35.
It was. And a swing and a miss. A sarcastic cheer from the crowd here in Pittsburgh. The fans are stunned. The Pirates are stunned. It starts with Carpenter on an 0-2 pitch. Grichuk, a no-doubter, to put the Cardinals on top. And insurance from Johnny Peralta. Yankees 2, Seung-Hwan Oh. 15 of 18 in save opportunities. The ERA is under 2. Just to give you an idea of how unbelievable and so surprising this is. In his career against the Cardinals before tonight, Tony Watson, 47 games, 6 earned, 2 home runs. Tonight, 4 earned in 2/3 of an inning, 3 home runs. And that's incredible. 47 games. It spanned 49 1/3 innings pitched and only 6 earned runs. 0-2 the count.
That might have been a while ago because he's been so good. But still have to get the final 3 outs, and we just saw how difficult that can be.
And that's a swing and a miss. That's how you start the bottom of the 9th. A strikeout for Seung-Hwan Oh.
McCutchen was 1 for 1 against him. Polanco is 0 for 2. Didn't want it to go down to the battle of the Koreans.
The Pirates trying to avoid an 8-game losing skid. Last time it happened was August of 2011. And if they cannot come back in this game, the Cardinals then put Pittsburgh 5.5 games out in the wild card. First pitch is strike to Gregory Polanco.
You keep the Mets a game behind. And San Francisco, they're trailing at Colorado in the bottom of the 7th inning, 2-1.
And a fly ball. It's lifted out to left, out of play.
Let's see what O does on an 0-2 pitch to Polanco. Got a big base hit in that 5th inning, broke an 0 for 18 spell.
Here's an 0-2 pitch. Polanco hits it out of play. The Cardinals have had some great moments this year. Not sure that any have matched up with what we've just seen in the top of the 9th.
No way. No way.
Matt Carpenter down to his final strike.
Again,
in a game that the Cardinals had a 5-run lead. I mean, that's the other thing.
Yeah.
You know, you're dejected. You're down.
But you know, this team has that ability to score late in games. So we've seen teams where they'll score early, but they'll sit on that lead.
0-2 is hit out of play again.
You have to be so dejected after you lose the 5-0 lead. Carpenter gets a day off, a mental day off, as he struggled the whole road trip. But you know what a competitor he is. He battled with that 0-2 count, and that started it out.
Pitch in the dirt.
Could be his first major league win. Came in, pitched the top of the 9th, 1-2-3 inning for Myers. Who would have thunk it?
Doesn't chase. 2-2. Not many walks this season from Seung-Hwan Oh.
That would be a sin to walk now with 3-run lead. Guys get base hits, that's part of it. But if you walk somebody, that opens the door.
Ground ball. Hit to the right side. 2 down.
Here's what I wanted, the Battle of South Korea. Oh, the all-time saves leader in Korea. And Gung, his last year before coming to the United States, he was like the Triple Crown winner of Korea.
First pitch to him is hit out of play.
Hit 356, 40 home runs, 117 RBIs. I think the Pirates fully knew what they were going to get from him. Cardinals were in on the bidding, but lost
Here's the
out.
0-1 pitch, and it swung on and missed. Nothing at 2, and now the Pirates are down to their final strike. An incredible turn of events in this game here tonight. The Pirates now down to their final strike. The 0-2.
They've met twice in the United States, and O has won both of them. Gong is 0 for 2.
The 0-2 pitch by O. Fly ball out to center. Grichuk will look up, and it's gone. It's a home run. That cuts the lead to 9-7.
Second home run of the day, and his third hit, third run scored. Oh boy. The 16th home run. RBIs up to 44, and they still have life. There's Frazier, Adam Frazier, right fielder. This kid's been nothing but hit since coming up.
And there is strike 1. So just the 4th home run allowed by O. Line drive down the right field line, and that is foul. So again, for the second time, the Pirates down to their final strike.
Frazier's hit 368 since being called up in his 14 starts.
Let's see if O can't put him away. Extend this losing skid for the Pirates to 8 and drop them back to 5.5 back of St. Louis. The 0-2 pitch by O just got a piece.
What a crazy game.
The 0-2. Rockies, by the way, are beating the Giants. We'll have an update on the post-game show. One ball and 2 strikes. The next by O. Check swing, and he went. The Cardinals win it 9-7. It is the win of the year for St. Louis. An incredible comeback tonight. 3 home runs hit in the 9th, and the Cardinals win it 9-7.
One of the greatest games you ever see. That disappointment for both sides at time, elation for each side, and I think both managers are going to have contrasting comments after this game.
Our Budweiser player of the game, Yadier Molina, 4 for 5 with a grand slam double, drove in 4, 2 runs scored. The most improbable win of the year for the Cardinals, down to their final strike. 0-2 the count on Matt Carpenter. He homered to tie it. Then a 2-run shot. Peralta, some insurance. A look at the wild card standings. Unbelievable. Jim Hayes has the post-game show interview, and our star of the game. One a night. Cardinals will look for a sweep tomorrow. 9-7 the final.